Alright, so guys, I'm doing just a video that I don't know if you guys might find it interesting, but yeah, so it's about this. So like, this is a sweet potato, and things have gotten to it. Really, what is because that is because of the heat of the time. The the squares are not your friends. The square houses that are using what you call it? The square houses that are using um, cinder blocks, they're not your friends. Squares are not your friends, folks. They heat up the place, and they release heat at after what do you call it, after night. So it's and in the cool in the evening. So it stores heat from all morning. It collects the sun rays, even when the sun is not really that hot. It collects the sun rays and it releases it in the night. So both it and asphalt does that. And I can show pictures of my Google screenshots and show you that that's what it does, guys. If we continue to use these building materials, guys, it's gonna cost us, because we're gonna buy our foods, we're not gonna be able to enjoy our food. It's gonna taste the heat of the time is gonna change because we're using the materials. After a while, if we use too many of them and continue to use it, you're not supposed to use them at all. You're supposed to find other alternatives, because you must be one with nature. And so here's a picture of it, a picture of my a screenshot of it. And so so here are some. This is a nutmeg, which is a spice. And so it's something that's gotten to it because of the heat of the time. Listen, funny. So the world's a scary place when you guys not choose plastic bricks. Plastic bricks is the way to go, guys. We are Caribbean. Listen to it. We are what? We are Caribbean island, and so we have to choose better alternatives, because we are a hot we are a hot climate. We have a hot climate, and so we have to choose better things. We can't choose anything to build. And even what do you call it, even cooler countries which snow and all those things, rains a lot, they are not using plastic. They're not using what do you call it, cinder blocks anymore. They stopped using cinder blocks years ago, but yet our municipal is still using cinder blocks. We have to sue the municipal because they don't have any visionaries in there, and they're just hiring people who are not visionaries, and they do nothing. They just eat up the money. They do nothing with the money. Then only thing they think they should do is that when someone builds on the street, they want to, which is good, they want to tell them not to do that. And they also don't like when people try and sell foods like on the sidewalk, which is good. But there are other things that municipal should do. They should be visionaries, like the US municipal. I'm gonna show you a screenshot pretty soon of what the US municipal did. And so yeah, so I think I saw it in 2023. So you guys need to do that. You can't be building with cinder blocks, because cinder blocks, they heat up the place, and cement heat up the place. And so that's where's a very scary place when you use those things, because you have things like also what do you call it again, migraines. It worsens migraines, it worsens anxiety. I'm gonna show screenshots of that on my Google searches. It exacerbates it, which means that it makes it worse. It exacerbates the problem. It exacerbates migraines. It exacerbates anxiety. And also a quick thing, um, soursop is good for soursop leaf tea is good for anxiety, and it's good for memory problems. So just in case you didn't watch my video about that, about how you should use it for when you're having about to have a baby. You should be doing that from the first time you know that you and your husband did what you did, and ask him if he did what he did, you know. Yes, ask him, or your boyfriend ask him, because you need child with memory being good, memories being good, and you can't have children with no recollection of where they've been, stuff like that. No, you can't have that. And so that's good. So as I was saying, it's like square houses, you best. I know I don't want to tell you what to do, but guys, squares, they collect more heat, and plus we're doing more, which is very bad, by getting, what do you call it again, cinder blocks. And cinder blocks cause heat problems and exacerbate migraines. And so you gotta, if they don't want to, if the cement factory doesn't want to stop making them and start switching to plastic bricks, you have, and start switching to a different cement, this ban the use of ban the use of cement, because the use of certain cements, and start to use cement that nothing's wrong with the brand Carib Cement, it's just that they sell other cements. They're supposed to sell other cements, or they're supposed to start making other cements which are not, because not heat exacerbating, like they release heat, they store heat and release it in the night time and evening time. You need things like that. And so that's what we need. We need is either, if they won't stop, then you have to sue them, because they're causing problems for people who have menopause, they're causing problems for people with migraines, they're causing people who have anxiety, and you don't need people with anxiety getting out the walk. You don't need people with menopause. You have to care about people. You have to care about you sue them on the municipal, because the municipal is doing nothing about anything. They should be doing things about the climate. And what they do is that they use cement again to build a climate park, or they allow a climate park to be built with what same cement. They do no researches. They just sit down for years knowing nothing than what they have been told. Come on, you gotta watch people that what happened to documentaries. People gotta watch documentaries. All right, you can't have a municipal worker who doesn't watch climate documentaries or anything like that. Or you can't have a municipal worker or a municipal boss who does not do anything. And you can't have what do you call that, like, what is NEPA doing too? Like, NEPA is only planting trees or whatever, and the government is only planting trees or whatever. I believe that the government, well, this Jamaican government, which is Andrew Holness, has been good. Like, in certain areas, like he got that garbage thing, that garbage thing that clean up the sea, take up the garbage of the sea, which plastics in the sea cause cancer, and it also kills turtles. So you have to care about turtles, because God says there's a special place in heaven for those who love animals. I don't remember what exact scripture that was, but it's in the Bible. And you have to care about animals, you have to care about people, you have to care, like, when you guys litter, it causes problems like that. So you gotta be like Rwanda, be like a clean street, never litter, never throw plastic things, because boy does it cause problems. This is Jamaican Insider News, and I'm your host, Bashar Vidal. Yes, so this might be an interesting topic. So um, I think it's an interesting topic. I hope you guys think it's an interesting topic too. So yeah, that's that. All right, the reason why St. Andrew is always so, the reason why St. Andrew is always cool versus Portmore is because St. Andrew has a lot of tall trees. Like they used to have a lot of tall trees, but they still do have tall trees more than Portmore. Like Portmore just have small trees, mango trees, and people prioritize mango trees in Portmore and June plum trees or whatever trees, but they don't have trees like mahogany trees, like how the other parts of the parishes, the other um, parishes have mahogany trees and trees that are tall like mahogany trees, tall like a mature mahogany tree. So you have been to O'Shea saw a mahogany tree. Um, so I don't want Portmore to become a parish until they stop using so, so they stop using cinder blocks and type of cement that's not um, roller cement. Roller cement is the best cement used in Portmore and in Caribbean islands. On Caribbean islands, roller cement is the best cement to use. So guys, you have to start to switch to that cement, unless we're gonna have rashes on our skin continuously, because Portmore people have a lot of rashes on their skin that they don't know why. The heat rashes because of that. And so we have to switch to the right cement and plastic bricks, because otherwise than that. All right, so we gotta, I mean, it might sound crazy if I say this, but we have to see these houses, they need to be knocked down. The people need to be stored somewhere else. And I think we should be that drastic, because the time is so hot, so terrible. You know, we have to be the drastic measures for a serious climate crisis. And so if we don't solve the problem in some type of way, like start using, like use the rubble from the houses to build to be a part of man-made islands, so we can make man-made islands, and they um for different purposes for agriculture. So all we solve is that we have to stop cutting down trees for certain forests that we have for agriculture, or whatever vegetation that we have for agriculture. We have to build islands for them. You know, we have to build man-made islands from them, for them, so that we we and the government supports the government makes bills to support these farmers, that because we have climate and it's gonna have over rain if we continue to, when you chop down trees it's gonna over rain, because the world gets unbalanced when you chop down a lot of trees to build houses. And so we should only chop down trees to build houses. We should stop, and we should try and build islands that build rainforest islands, and we should build farm islands, and we can call those islands the sea pig or the sea goat, you know, because that's what we need. Yeah. And so we have to do things like that, because or we solve those problems, climate, or we solve the over raining and it's destroying crops, because TVJ News did a segment on it, and they didn't have any solution. I mean, you have to be visionaries. It's not only government places that are not visionaries and cause problems and allow problems to get exacerbated and allow problems to continue for a long while. You have to be visionaries. You know, we teach our children not to be visionaries, and so we have to do things like that unless we have problems. You know, we have to do things like that. All right, so guys. Alright, so guys, audiences are inert to the way TVJ News tells the news, just being opinionless. Wait, by nerd, I mean they are accustomed to the way they tell the news, just being opinionless, you know, making no changes, like by saying something that cause a movement or something, bring about change, you know, stuff like that. So I'm about to show you a video where they talk about chickens dying off by the heat, and they bring no solutions. So apparently, so TVJ knows what all these things will do. The heat will do. It kills chickens and all those things. So I'm gonna show you the video, right? And then I'll talk about it.
Veterinarian at the High Pro Farm store, Dr. Kirk Michael Harris, explained how heat affects chickens.
What you're going to find is that that heat of digestion, the feed that is being digested is going to really increase the core body temperature of the bird. And just imagine that being combined with the heat from the sun that we are experiencing, the heat that comes from the litter, because the bacteria will be working on some of that litter.
All right, so I showed you the TVJ News episode of what it does to chickens, where they talk about just the chickens. So they still didn't have an opinion, you know. They still didn't try to say, you know, guys, what's the cause of all this, and try and search the answers. No, nothing. Zilch, nada. And zilch means nothing. Zilch means nothing. Zero in German. I could show you others where it threatens farming and that would take up too much time. You know, they still didn't have an opinion yet again. Oh, and if TJ News says to me that they're not being paid by Carb Cement and Peckham Cooking Gas, you know, I'll do the same face that I do when that time when on the creators of Underworld told me that, you know, we just let go of Michael because we didn't have anywhere else to do with him, you know, so we killed him off. And that face is seriously. That's why I let go of him. It's not because you're directing a movie where a man is sleeping with your wife. A man is sleeping with your wife. That's me. Alright, so guys, the climate is far more unpleasant than the song that sounds like sneeze. Apata. And guys, it will threaten your dogs, your livelihoods. And side joke, my neighbor doesn't rub his dogs. So my dog so that dog was probably like, I hear the echoes every day. This reminds me of a Vampire Diaries song. Just that echo, echo. Ooh, just my shadow, shadow. It's the only friend that I have. And if we allow it to get out of, alright, so it gets worse. So, you know, we will soon can get pregnant. You know, soon can get, you know, people, you know, women, you know, will soon can get pregnant. You know, fertility joke now. So you can't, you know, you can't get pregnant if, you know, it gets too hot. So fertility joke. It's that same dangerous silence when, you know, a lion walks in the room and, you know, a man says, oh, lion, and then there's no more noise. Gotcha. Alright, so guys, they seem to be doing everything but trying to fix the climate, you know, apart from just planting trees that they plan to remove really quick when, you know, they want to cut down for something, you know. No national parks, you know, no national parks at all. I bet they didn't want to make 10 a number instead of, you know, before they, you know, want to fix the climate. You know, that's what I'm saying, you know. Do something actual structural and actually structural, you know, and do something that makes sense. But I bring solutions, guys. All right, so before we build the man-made islands, you know, of which I presented, that plan that I presented, we before we build the man-made islands that are for forestry and you know, agriculture, you know, of which those man-made islands will be several feet in the air, like a good more than 19 feet, because sea levels will rise, you know, and we want our food security to be, you know, secured. So we will build man-made islands several feet in the air for water purposes, and I'll explain the water purposes in another video, a water video, you know, that is well anticipated for over 3 from 2023. Yeah. So here's how I envision a forest to look, by the way. And guys, maybe at the entrance of the forest, we could have a guy saying oats. Oats! 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 Oh, and guys, for things like factories, why don't we put a cork on the hole in the factory that sends off the carbon in the air, or at least put some steel, metal things in the air, of which has a, what do you call it, a moss carpet on it, around it, so that it sucks in the carbon that factories are letting off.